Hello, listeners. Welcome to episode 24 of the Avocado Gamescast, the internet's only gaming podcast. I'm Merve, and today we're going to take a look back on the first half of 2017. After that, we'll be talking about our favorite video game soundtracks. But before we get into those discussions, let's meet the folks who are joining me today. First up, he's person number one. It's Ben.
Good morning.
And next is person number two, PT.
Well, good evening, I guess.
Morning and evening. We're covering them both here. I'm very pleased with that. So that's just us three today. We're going to chill and talk about video games and music and stuff. How are you guys doing?
A bit cold.
Meanwhile, it's super humid in my... Well, it's so humid in my apartment at all times, actually, which is sad, but...
It's also humid where I am right now. And, I used to have an air conditioner going when I'm sitting in my room, but I can't have the air conditioner on when I'm podcasting because it's just gonna have this huge rumbling sound in the background, and that used to give Kappa nightmares when he was editing this because he'd have to try to filter out the background noise, and it would never get filtered out completely. So there's always this low hum in the background. So I decided to just suffer through it for future podcasts.
Well, I'm doing the same thing here. I usually have a fan blaring in my back here, and it's like, all for the quality of podcasts.
Yeah, we suffer for our art, just like video game developers. In fact, we work harder than them, probably.
Lazy developers.
Yeah, lazy devs, only putting in 90 hours a week. What a bunch of turds. So we just finished. We're recording this on July 1st. Happy Canada Day, by the way. We're recording this on July 1st. We just finished the first half of 2017. A lot happened in the first half of 2017. A lot of video games came out. So I guess the way we're going to do this podcast today is we're going to talk about what happened in the first half of 2017. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, we agreed to the thing beforehand, so...
Yeah, that is true. We did agree. We'll pull back the curtain here for a second. We do set an agenda. We kind of set it by dictatorship, because I just write the agenda, and you guys just say, yeah, whatever, it's cool. Nobody's ever been like, oh man, your agenda sucks.
I don't like that thing you wrote about me. That joke about Suikoden was too harsh for me.
Oh, I didn't make a Suikoden joke this time. I completely forgot.
I was gonna go. I was actually gonna say something to the effect there. I was gonna go, yes, I am person number two, and I would like you to play generic JRPG number 2 by Konami.
I mean, I still haven't gotten around to playing Suikoden, which I think we said that at the start of this year. We were gonna do this segment where I'd play Suikoden 1 and 2 back to back, and PT would comment on my progress and make fun of me for not being used to old JRPGs. But then so many games came out this year that I just haven't gotten around to playing old games. And that's sort of been one of the trends this year, is that there have been a lot of games and a lot of good games this year. And in particular, it seems like Japan makes good video games again. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Franchises that I'm really into that have had sequels released that I haven't touched because there's been so many goddamn games.
Yeah, we did a whole podcast about Mass Effect and how much we're looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda, and I just never picked up Mass Effect Andromeda. I think Kappa was the only one out on that podcast who actually ended up playing it.
Oh, I played it.
Oh, you've played it? Okay. Yeah, Banner Thief and I never got around to playing it, as far as I know.
I played it for a couple of days, and then I heard about all those patches they were making to fix up everything, so I stopped playing, and I'm waiting for them to finish it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the patches will be slow in coming because reports have indicated that they've moved most of BioWare Montreal off the project, and it's basically turned back into a support studio. In fact, a lot of them have moved to other EA Montreal studios. So it seems like
things are going well.
Yeah. I mean, they're not even doing single-player DLC for it. I mean, they haven't formally announced it, but reports have indicated that they're not going to do DLC for it or anything. So it's basically... This might be the end of Mass Effect, sadly.
I reckon give it a couple of years, and then be like, oh shit, we have this franchise that people like. I mean, we're getting a Beyond Good and Evil 2, so let's never rule out anything.
I'm
True.
still not convinced that game exists until I see it.
They've shown gameplay of it.
Right, but you know they showed a trailer of it and they showed this, and I think they canceled it like six different times at this point, and I'm sure it'll be canceled.
It's one of those until it's on the shelf and I can buy it. It's not a real game.
Right. I'm sure it'll be canceled 3 more times before it actually gets released.
See, it's never been
My
officially
grandchildren will
canceled.
get to
That's the
play
thing. It's always been in continuous development. But they've just changed the scope of it so many times, and they've rescoped it and probably scrapped everything and started again 4 times. But it's never been canceled.
2 separate trailers that had Jade as the main character, and now it's 200 years before she was born, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little wary because it's all like a prequel now. I'm like, I like Jade. Do I really want to deal with, I don't know, Profane Monkey, whoever that guy is?
I want to deal with Profane Monkey so badly. He looks so fun.
Is it going to have anything to do with the little teaser at the end of the first game?
No,
Probably
it's not
not.
going to tell you.
Yeah, so it seems like Jade's not going to be there. And it also seems like they're not going to even address the, not really cliffhanger, but the ending of the first game and the twist there, where Jade was some sort of chosen one or something. I don't really remember it that well.
It got weird, and there was a bit where you had to play with like reverse controls, and I was stuck on it for like 3 days, and I hated it. But I still love that game.
Yeah, I played it on mouse and keyboard, which it was clearly not meant for. So that end part was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, I was on mouse and keyboard too.
Yeah, that game was really meant to be played with a controller. Although it did have, I think, and I don't know why no other game has replicated this, it did have the best letter inputs for a game that you control with a controller. The spiral thing is how you pick out letters if you want to name stuff.
Yeah, I hated that.
I thought, I mean, it's so much faster than like trying to replicate a QWERTY layout and then moving your thumbstick to select letters. This is way faster and way better, in my opinion. I don't know why
I think I'm just so used to having to type on a QWERTY keyboard with a D-pad that I'm faster at that now.
Yeah, I don't play that many games with controllers, unfortunately, so that's probably why I really welcomed it. I mean, the equivalent with the mouse and keyboard was moving your mouse around in a spiral pattern, which is, its own special brand of fun. Yeah, so Beyond Good and Evil 2 got announced. A lot of sequels this year, like Mass Effect Andromeda we mentioned, Gravity Rush 2, Yakuza 0, NIER Automata. Lots of sequels that were pretty well received too. It seems.
And some that were less well received, like Mass Effect.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what they're gonna do with that game in the end. Because I know BioWare's moved on to their new IP, Anthem, or whatever that is, which basically looks like third-person Destiny. I don't really know what they're going for there.
And they've also said they're doing something big with Dragon Age or something, so that's probably going to be announced soon.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I do
Mass
want...
Effect's dead.
Yeah, I do want another Dragon Age, don't get me wrong. But I hope we've been in sort of, Heraldon or Le free marches. I want to go farther north. I want to see, Tevinter, Navarra, Ravane, Antiva, Weishaupt, all those areas. Because it's been, we've been stuck in the south, and it's been fairly generic, but, there are rainforests and other things like that in the world of Dragon Age. That would be really cool to see. That we haven't really gotten when you're stuck in sort of your typical medieval fantasy setting.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Also, Ravanes are friggin' pirates, man. Dragon Age with pirate ships sounds really cool to me. I don't know if they're actually going to...
So you want the
ever do
Assassin's
that.
Creed 4 of Dragon Age?
I really do. I want Dragon Age pirates. I mean, not Bethesda. BioWare's also sitting on other IP like Jade Empire.
Jade Empire. When have we not mentioned that?
I always mention Jade Empire because I love Jade Empire. But hey, if Mass Effect's dead, bring back Jade Empire. Everybody likes Jade Empire, right?
I have no idea.
They still have the rights to Star Wars as well, don't they?
I mean, yeah, EA's making Star Wars games now, So I guess they could hand off a Star Wars RPG to BioWare if they wanted to. Right now, I think they've got DICE on Battlefront, and is it Visceral?
Yeah, Visceral are doing that unannounced one.
Yeah, Amy
Are
Hennig's
BioWare
Star
still
Wars.
doing the MMO? Does that game still exist?
Yeah, the Old Republic still exists. They're still supporting it a little bit, but I don't think they're making any more major content expansions. Maybe they are. I don't know, but it's still a thing. It's mostly BioWare Austin's thing, as I understand it, though, not Edmonton or Montreal. So, yeah, it seems like we mentioned earlier, it seems like this is a year where Japanese games sort of came back to the forefront, where we had like Resident Evil 7 and Breath of the Wild.
I was going to bring up Resident Evil 7, and I realized that was in January.
Yeah, that was
So
a while ago.
Came super early. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a lot of games like that come out of Japan. If you go back 3 or 4 years ago, people were saying things like Japanese game development is dead, and now it just seems like it resurged out of nowhere, which is neat for me. And I think neat for a lot of people because Western and Japanese games tend to be slightly different in tone and feel and how they play. It's nice to get that variety again, which we weren't really getting for a while when it was only really Western games that were of any significant quality. I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, as a whole, what? Oh well, let's see. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that's it's funny because like this year, I've actually played a lot of current year games, which is the first time in a while. So I can say that I played RE7 and Breath of the Wild and Persona 5. Wait, Persona was December, wasn't it?
No, Persona was April.
April, I'm sorry.
In the West, it was this year, yeah.
Okay, yeah, or just like, and I've been playing these this year games, so I feel like I'm sort of the conversation. I mean, I own NIER, and I haven't played it yet, and I probably should. And
it's so good.
I'm sure it's so good. I played like so many other games, like Breath of the Wild, which I don't know why. Which actually the first DLC just came out yesterday, I believe, for that. So that's a thing.
Yeah, that Nintendo doing DLC now. I mean, they did it a bit on Wii U. They didn't do it at all on Wii.
Like
I don't
Mario
know, do you
Kart had
think that
shitloads
Nintendo-
of DLC, didn't it?
Sorry?
Mario Kart had shitloads of DLC, didn't it?
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 had quite a bit of DLC, as I understand it.
So did Smash? Because you got all like Bayonetta and shit in that.
I think Smash
Bayonetta
had some
and
DLC characters as well.
Cloud. God, Cloud.
Which Final Fantasy is Cloud from? Is it from
Seven.
Seven. Okay. Titus is
God,
it.
how do you not know that?
I forget the difference between 7 and 8. I know that 7's the one where Aerith dies.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah,
Yikes.
spoilers. If
Spoilers,
I've
that
never
was
played
in-
the game and I know that, I can spoil it for everybody else.
It was in the official strategy guide. You could like turn the page by mistake, and oops, there's Eris's death scene right there. It's great. That's just come on.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is like one of my biggest gaming blind spots in that I've never actually played a Final Fantasy game. So I should probably rectify that.
I mean,
I don't even like Final Fantasy games, and I've played a bunch of them.
But they're so long, and there's so many other better games.
Weren't you playing Persona 5?
Yeah, but that's a better game.
It's like 100 hours.
I'm
No,
at like
15
hour 75 right now.
You
15
could
is
have played 2 Final Fantasy games in that time.
Yeah, Persona 5 is probably overstaying its welcome a little bit. It's strange. I mean, it is a good game, don't get me wrong, but it's probably a game that's like, at the end of the year, it's going to end up at like, near the bottom of my top 10, as opposed to where I thought it would end up would be like, yeah, it's going to be my favorite game of the year, no question. So,
I think I've described that game as a B+ game that I have so much to complain about. It's just I can just go on this laundry list of things where it's like, oh, that could have been so much better, and so that game kind of frustrates the hell out of me in many ways. So
yeah, there's so much I like about it, and there's so much where I'm just like, did you really need to do that? And most of it is, I don't want to say petty complaints, but small complaints. I don't think there are any like gigantic flaws with the game that make it awful, or there's anything unbearable about it. But there's a lot of little things that I think they did wrong, and they sort of kind of add up. And after a while, I'm just like, ugh, this is frustrating. But then, so I put it down for a week, and then I go back to it a week later. I'm just like, why did I put this down? I really like this. This is fun. So I'm sort of this love-hate cycle with Persona 5 right now.
You were in the 5th or 6th dungeon, which are terrible.
I just finished the 5th dungeon, I think.
Oh,
that game is long.
You're 75 hours in and you're onto the 5th dungeon?
Yeah,
there are only like 7 or 8 dungeons. I don't know how long it is.
Yeah, there are
Oh,
7.
me.
There are 7 themed dungeons, and then there's a final-ish dungeon that kind of sums it all up. But yeah,
it's a long ass game. It's
I
gonna take.
thought, because I knew it was like 100 hours, I thought there'd be like 30 dungeons or something.
The dungeons are really big. Like each one can take from like 8 to 10 hours to run through.
Oh my god, those dungeons are as long as the other games.
I mean, it's not just that, but there's also, well, I mean, the 3 and 4 had randomized dungeons, that were just floors, and now 5 has its, individual giant maps of places, which if you're good enough, you can take maybe 1 or 2 runs, and you can, get everything ready and get the calling card ready and such. And then there's also this underground subway tunnel thing, which is Mementos, which is basically the randomized dungeon stuff from 3 and 4. That does play a huge role in the final portion of the game, so you shouldn't ignore it.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of dungeon crawling, but like at least I'd say 2/5 of your time is spent in the social sim / visual novel part of the game as well. Like it's a long game.
Or your goddamn cat blocking you from going down the stairs because that's so hard to do. Nope. Sorry, main character, you can't go downstairs. You might be too tired.
Fucking Morgana, man. If I could... I don't advocate cruelty to animals, but I do advocate cruelty to Morgana.
Or, talking cats. Talking cats that are weird and... Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
anytime Morgana speaks, I just pick the snarkiest response I can. Because, very, very mild spoilers, Morgana's confidant or social link in Persona 5 levels up automatically, so it really doesn't matter what you say to him. It's not going to affect anything. So you might as well just pick the snarkiest responses you can for whatever he says, and it won't affect your relationship.
I do appreciate, I know a lot of people on Twitter who've been playing through the game just like to just make screenshots of just the most vile crap said towards Mishima. That really irritating classmate that sets up the fan fight website.
Yeah.
The fan site. And it's just like, dude, you're a stalker. You're a creepy stalker. Or why is he on the vacation trip with us? Like, why am I stuck with him in his room? Like, why can't I just tell him to fuck off? Just like, no, you can't.
See, the reason I can tolerate Mishima is because that's also the game's perspective towards him. Like, the game acknowledges how creepy and weird he is, right? So,
oh yeah. I mean, even his social link is kind of like midway through. You're like, dude, you're nuts. Don't stop.
That's what I like about it. It shows some self-awareness that the game unfortunately doesn't show elsewhere. So it's nice that the game treats a weirdo like a weirdo, like the creep he is. So yeah, that's Persona 5, which I guess PT and I have both been playing. I
played that a while back, and I got platinum, and then
you finished it.
Yeah, I finished it, and then I platinumed it, and then I played it twice. I platinumed it, and then I will be happy to probably not play it again for a long time because I played a lot of it.
Yeah, you played it twice in the time it's taken me to get 2/3 of the way through. Mind you, I've been playing other games in the interim. Like I've been playing a lot of older games right now because it's sort of a downtime. Although I've indie games to catch up on, that I should be catching up on. But it seems like the main titles that everybody's been talking about this year have been these big open world games like Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Gravity Rush 2, NIER Automata, Yakuza 0. It seems like there are a lot of the open world trend isn't going away. which is interesting to me because open world fatigue is also set in for a lot of people. Like, um,
I
like
think though with the open world games, we're seeing a lot more that are like experimenting with what an open world game can be. Like Breath of the Wild is very different to like Nier Automata or Yakuza. Like they haven't been just the same kind of like checkpoint fucking Ubisoft style open world games for all of them. They're actually doing different things, which is fun.
Yeah,
Bre-
I mean,
Breath of the Wild is a touch aimless when it comes to the open world, which I believe is kind of the point. Because I mean, you can wander off and just not find things at all ever, and the game doesn't expect you to find everything. I mean, there are 900. I think it's 900 of those goddamn cork seeds. Good luck finding them all. And
aren't
fuck
Korok
you.
seeds
buy
just
the-
like dried poo? Isn't that the lore?
That's right. You buy the DLC and you get the Korok seed hunting thing. You just have to pay them money to find them all. That's all.
The other thing actually is that Master Sword trial thing actually it's in 3 parts, and even the first part's kind of tough. I did the first part today, but if you get all 3 done, now your Master Sword finally is in full power and no longer runs out of energy. And well, screw using other weapons, I guess. Yeah, so that's
So it like doesn't break or accrue
Well, the-
damage or anything?
the Master Sword doesn't break; it runs out of energy. That's
How do you
Oh,
recharge
and then you
it?
have to like recharge it.
yeah. It's like I think it's
Is it like a
half-
plug-in hybrid or something?
It's like a half hour for it to recharge after it's done, and it's actually not a terribly strong weapon, with the exception of it when you're near guardians or other evil things, because its default attack is 30, and then it goes to 60 when it's near guardians.
Double
Or
damage. That's actually pretty good.
and actually, it's actually really cool to use because the Master Sword, and this is I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but it just shows how kind of open worldy the game is that you can get the Master Sword any damn time you want, provided you have like 9 or 10 hearts.
See, that's the approach I like. I mean, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, but that's the kind of approach I like to a game where like, it's an open world game that actually sort of fulfills the promise of being an open world. Like it just sets you free there and lets you. I mean, there is definitely narrative, and my understanding is that there's a strong narrative, but it just kind of lets you do what you want. Like that freedom is there, and if you stray too far off the beaten path, maybe you'll end up dead. But you can end up dead if you want to end up dead.
Oh,
Which a lot of games don't let you do.
Oh, you will die a lot in that game at first. It's shockingly cruel for a Zelda game at first.
Yeah, I've never known Zelda games to be known for their difficulty.
Have you ever played Zelda 1? Because that game will fuck you.
Oh, yeah, yes, that game is, playground. I discovered something behind the bush here. Make sure you get the 3rd bush on the right side of the screen. I heard this on the playground. That sort of gossip.
Like Breath of the Wild seems like it's going back to what Zelda 1 was, which was also just chucks you in the middle of that world and figure it out.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it takes some effort to just even do find the 4 major dungeons and do them, because you have to do like multiple quests and you have to track down the locations. And if you're not someone who likes to search, like the bottom left note for you have to go to the desert area, like you're never gonna find it. It's just, in fact, for the longest time, I thought, and this shows how completely stupid I am. I thought the original Great Plateau area, which is basically the training area, basically the first area of the game, was like, wow, this is so big, and I'm never leaving this place. And then suddenly you grab the parachute thing, and suddenly you fly off. It's like, nope, this thing is really small.
That's basically the experience I had with Ocarina of Time of like, yeah, I collected these 3 stones and brought them to the Temple of Time. I'm about to finish the game, and what the fuck, I'm an adult?
Yeah, it's interesting when you think a game has a lot less scope, and then it just kind of opens up into something much bigger.
Because what happened is, so you're basically tasked by some random guy to say, okay, we're going to have you find these 4 shrines. We're going to teach you how to use the map. I'm not going to tell you too much. In fact, if you keep asking him for help, he's like, try some self-reliance there, buddy. which is like, what? But no, you essentially have to do things. You have to climb a snow mountain and learn very quickly how to use the elements. Like, make sure you're wearing proper clothes or eating like hot food so you don't freeze to death and die. Or you have to like kind of explore these things, and it's like it seems like a lot for a first tutorial, but then after that it's like, that's nothing. You found 4 shrines, now find 116 more to get the ultimate bonus.
Yeah, it's a very different approach from like what we're used to in open world games, which do like for all their open worldish nature. There's a lot of hand-holding in a lot of games like that. Sorry, you're saying something?
I will say that there are general clues if you explore them. I mean, it's just I think my problem was, and that was a game where I ended up just kind of admitting that, okay, fine, I'm just gonna use walkthroughs to find shrines, because otherwise I just was not gonna have any fun. Because I just was never gonna find and get enough little I'm losing my track of like those little shrine token thingies. That because you can exchange 4 of them at random statues to get either a heart, an extra heart, or more stamina. For you so you can climb on stuff.
Stamina.
Yep. Stamina. I can't. Words are hard.
Words are indeed difficult, as we discovered earlier when we thought our microphones were cutting out, which the listeners will not hear because we'll have excised that from the podcast. Anyway, unless Kappa just chooses to keep it in to spite us for.
I was gonna say, our random Zelda discussion where emergency vehicles are blaring at the same time.
Yeah, edit that out, Kappa. It's interesting that we've taken this different approach, because there are games like say Yakuza 0, where you're almost forced to discover things. Like, you'll be walking around the path from one main mission to the next, and then you'll be walking by some event that will pop by, and like a cutscene will play as you're on your way there. And this cutscene is for a side story, and you can choose to pursue it further, or you can choose to ignore it later if you want. But Yakuza 0 almost like shoves the side content into your face, whereas with Breath of the Wild, it seems like you kind of have to go off the beaten path if you want to see some of the side stuff.
You do have to talk to a lot of people, and just like to do. There's a very good chance that you will not find all the great fairies in that game unless you try.
Yeah, and the great can things to you.
Right, and the great fairies they basically upgrade your gear basically for defense and such. So they're incredibly helpful. Otherwise, you're going to be one shot a lot.
Yeah. So I think we've talked quite a bit about open world games and how they're still very popular in 2017. Are there any other trends that you guys have observed in 2017 so far? Maybe carryovers from 2016 or anything?
I think
of the like?
One of the big things I've noticed in 2017 is like Dark Souls is a full genre now. Like, we've had Hollow Knight, which is like 2D bug Dark Souls, had the Surge, which is sci-fi Dark Souls, had Neo, which is like samurai Dark Souls. Like, it's just a genre now.
Yeah, and people talk a lot about Souls-like elements, like the resurrections in NIER Automata. People talk about that like it's a Souls-like element.
Fucking, have you seen the comparisons of Crash Bandicoot to Dark Souls? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, Crash Bandicoot was obviously inspired by Dark Souls.
You mean when the ball flattens him like a 2D? Never mind. I think I was going. No, I'm just thinking.
They should just like mod "You Died" into Crash Bandicoot. That would be great.
Pretty much it would happen half the time, because dude gets smashed by rolling boulders and everything else. And
there's like the Photoshop of him walking with like the filing shrine like title card, and has like all the weapon like little cross down in the bottom left hand.
It's like, no, it's just I forgot what the Twitter account was, but it's just someone tracks down all of these stupid comparisons and posts them in like a little a gimmick account. And the one I saw the other day, which just drove me insane, was Gabe's Cave Story Plus, which for the Cave Story's been around forever.
The Undertale plus Dark Souls.
Yes. Cave Story Plus is like a Dark Souls game mixed with Undertale. Like, oh god.
Also, like, not
Undertale is pretty difficult. I think Undertale is Dark Souls mixed with Undertale.
Not only does Cave Story like predate both those games by like a decade, but it's nothing like either of them.
He easily outdates them, yeah. Or yeah. I was kind of amused by why anyone would pay $30 for the same goddamn game you've been able to play for like, I don't know, 10 years now. Because I know that there's a Switch port now of Cave Story. And what I found out though was you could actually pick up more than one puppy at once during that terrible fetch quest sequence where you have to grab like 7 puppies and like take them one by one by one back. But no, like the fact you can pick up more than one is like, oh god, game changer! Wow.
Is the Switch one like that 3D remake they did for the 3DS, or is it the original pixel art one?
I think it's the original one. The screenshot I saw was basically the pixel one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't think anyone wants the 3D one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of pixel art, but oftentimes the really cartoonish 3D-ish sprites will end up looking worse. It's because I don't know, it's like they call to mind like shitty DreamWorks films or Illumination films, which are like shitty DreamWorks.
Oh god, Minions.
Yeah. Despicable Me 3, isn't that coming this year?
It's out. I believe
it's already out.
Oh, it's already out. Okay. I think it's a good sign that I didn't know it was already out.
Did you know Cars 3 was out?
I did.
Okay. You know Cars 3 was out, but not Despicable Me 3.
Right, because, I mean, I haven't seen any Cars films, but I have seen the first 2 Despicable Me films. The first one is fine. The second one is really, really bad. So, I don't know.
Spoilers, they're better than Cars.
Oh, really? They're better than Cars?
Cars sucks. Especially the second one. That second Cars movie is bad.
I've only seen like a third of Pixar's over, which is pretty bad.
Well, it's too few, yeah, because Pixar has way more hits than misses. And I think I
would disagree.
I think they admit at this point that Cars is it's the thing that makes us so much merchandising money.
Like they need Cars so that they can make, I don't know, Wall-E and Up, which don't make that much money.
Or Inside Out or Brave, which I liked a lot more than some people did.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate Inside Out, even if I didn't like it very much. But I'm glad that they are at least making things that are sort of experimental. I mean, within the bounds of, traditional Western family entertainment. They're at least doing something semi-interesting, which is more than I can say for Illumination or any of the shitty DreamWorks knockoff studios that make really bad 3D animated movies.
DreamWorks make really weird experimental shit, though. Why are you lumping them in with this?
DreamWorks?
Like, they made a kung fu movie.
Yeah, they did. They did, like, Kung Fu Panda they made?
Yeah,
they did Kung Fu Panda. They did How to Train Your Dragon, which is one of the best CG movies ever made. They do amazing movies when they try.
When they try is key. Yeah, I don't know why I'm shitting on them. I think it's just really easy to shit on them.
Sorry, this is a whole other rant that I could get into for days.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say they did Surf's Up, and then realized no, that wasn't them. That was Sony.
Yeah, but Sony are also making Surf's Up 2 starring WWE wrestlers. So like,
okay,
come on,
I don't want to fucking watch that.
I do.
Really?
You mean you haven't seen the like 6 Scooby-Doo movies featuring WWE characters at this point?
Yeah, but they're not surfing penguins in those movies.
Oh, that is true. Yes.
I mean, there is a dog who essentially takes drugs.
So like pro wrestlers, but
canine pro wrestlers. Scooby-Doo is sort of like a pro wrestler.
Hey, there's no steroids in wrestling. We all know that, right? Wait.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's a dog who takes steroids and has suffered brain damage. I mean, that's the WWE right there.
How does it suffer brain damage? He can talk. That's like brain improvement, isn't it, for a dog?
like brain damage compared to say Scrappy Doo.
Or Shaggy.
Fuck Scrappy.
I mean, Scrappy Doo's annoying as fuck, but at least he's semi-intelligent.
No. What
No.
are we talking about?
So
I don't
video
know.
games. Let's get
Yeah.
away from Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy Doo. Yeah, we don't have to talk about Scooby Doo. But what we should talk about is, so we've talked about some of the trends that we've seen in 2017. Open world games still around. Japanese games have come back. Souls is a genre now. What has surprised you from 2017 so far?
Biggest surprise for me, Rhyme came out. Do you remember all the fuck around with that game?
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be like a PlayStation exclusive for a while?
It started off as a PlayStation exclusive. Then there was a news story that came out that PlayStation were dropping it because the Tequila Works couldn't prove that they'd made any game in like 2 years. And then there were all these people thinking that like Rhyme didn't exist and it was complete bullshit and everything. Then it came out on Xbone, PS4, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, I've looked at it. It looks appealing. It's just probably since it's going to pass me by because there are too many games to play. But yeah, that was a surprise that it actually. I mean, I did think it existed, but I thought it would end up in a sort of development hell, sort of like Cuphead has ended up in.
Well, Cuphead's not really in development hell. That's just a game that was always going to take forever because they're doing hand-drawn 30 frame a second animation. Like,
I mean, the other reason
that's
it's
just
taking
not
forever is that they'd made a boss rush game and it was nearly done, and then people told them they didn't want a boss rush game, so they essentially scrapped everything and remade it as a 2D platformer.
Yeah, I had heard from other people that the game was just way too hard for a while, and then they said, "Well, let's hopefully it gets better."
I mean, right? I've seen the gameplay I've seen of it. Like, it looks unfortunately bad. I really wanted that game to be good, but everything I've seen gameplay-wise from that game just looks not fun to play. So maybe they've made changes that make it, more bearable to look at and possibly to play.
I would
We'll
think
see.
I would think a game like that should be just more fun rather than difficult. I mean, if you want to make it super difficult, like make some crazy ass difficulty mode that I will never play, but it should just be there should be some joy involved. I mean, that's kind of why I like a lot of the Nintendo mascot stuff is because it's not the most difficult stuff in the world. Well, the bonus stuff tends to be like, I mean, God, the bonus stuff, say like the Mario Galaxy games, just like the Grandmaster Galaxy is, God, fuck everything. But just so difficult. But no, it's just the majority of the game is just, hey, we'll give you a little challenge, but hey, we want you just to have some damn fun.
Honestly, I'm the complete opposite of that. That's the main reason why the Nintendo mascot stuff bores me, because I just like am half asleep playing. Like, I beat what was the Mario on Wii U? 3D World or 3D Land or something?
3D World.
3D World Jam.
Yeah. Like, I beat that, and I think I died twice, and I had like 250 lives by the time I beat it. And it's just like, it's not fun to me anymore. It's just like I'm half asleep playing that game. It's nothing. Like, that's why I think Cuphead looks so exciting to me, because it looks fucking hard, and I love that shit.
I mean, I think for me, it's what you need to find is a balance. If you're
Right.
sleepwalking through a game, then it's no fun to play. But then there are games that are super, super tough for no reason whatsoever. Like the example I like to go to is the original Far Cry. That game has no reason to be as difficult as it is. Like, enemies can shoot you through walls, which makes no sense, but they can. There's no reason
Well, yeah,
for that
it
game
has
to
to
be
be
as
a
hard as it is.
fair challenge. Like,
Yeah.
but like something like Super Meat Boy, that game is really, really hard, but it's also one of my favorite games. It's because like you play it and it's the challenge and it's the like experience of getting better and learning how to overcome the challenges that the game presents, which is like half the reason I love playing like those crazy massacre platformers.
Yeah, I mean the other good thing about those games is that they tend to have like restarting a level is really quick. You don't have to go through a gigantic loading screen. You don't lose 10 minutes of progress. You just restart the level.
Honestly, I think
And you're
that's
good.
one of the things that Dark Souls continues to fuck up with its game design is they need to fix their load times. Like, if those games had like instant reload or something like that, like I don't know how well that.
Like, I don't know how well that would feel in the game.
No, but like, have you played the Dark Souls games that much? Where like, Bloodborne had like load times that were like over a minute at times every time you died. Like,
Yeah, it
that
really
shit's
ruins the
not good.
flow, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually have not played it since the Pro came out because I do own a Pro, and apparently when they did the whole patching, like, okay, hey, certain games are going to load faster now. Apparently, Bloodborne was one of the improved games, but I've never tried it. But
Yeah, and I'm not paying like fucking $400 for a new console just to get better loading time on Bloodborne.
well, to be fair, I bought a PS4 thinking, oh well, what I might as well just buy a Pro. So that's what I
Okay,
did.
so you came in at the Pro.
Right.
I came in at... I got the special edition Uncharted 4 console. So my PS4 is teal. So I don't really feel like selling that to get a Pro.
Oh no, I understand. I mean, but I was kind of like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy one and just carry on and play Final Fantasy 15 and enjoy it quite a bit. And I haven't played any of they had actually, in fact, episode Prompto just came out, and I said I haven't played Gladios yet.
Oh, you can finally play as Prompto, which was
It's like a Metal Gear
meme from
Solid
E3
game
last
or
year.
something, isn't it?
I think like he was the gun person, so I guess he's. But no, I haven't played Gladio or Prompto yet. But no, those I just don't know why. It's like I'm interested, but I guess there's just more games to play. Like Uncharted 4, I was playing for a while, and then I decided out of the blue to buy a Switch for God knows why I bought a Switch. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think it's a great system. It's a cool little system, but I just thought to myself, I guess I just saw like on Twitter, like, oh, by the way, Switches are back in stock, and like. Okay, I guess I should buy one. Oh crap, I bought one. I guess it's coming.
See, here's the thing. I was like, I'm not gonna get a Switch. This looks dumb. And then I saw the stuff they showed off at E3 this year, and I was like, I need it now. Like I saw the trailer for Super Mario Odyssey, and I was like, I wish it were possible to inject video games into my body to experience them.
I guess
Because now I really want it.
I really do think the portable features are really cool. I mean, for example, and I totally admit that I bought some of those SNK arcade ports because they're just super great to just take out, as I'm during my lunch break or whatever, and think, I'm going to go play Fatal Fury, even though it's not a really particularly good fighting game, but it has memories for me. And just finish it in 15 minutes during my lunch break. And just have a little fun and enjoy how it didn't bother to ever fix the Y2K bug it had, where if you can kill geese in the year 1917. Now it's great.
Nice. So it's a funny thing you mentioned that you're playing retro ports, because I get the sense that like retro gaming is almost going out of fashion now. Almost, I don't know. Do you guys get that sense too?
Not even slightly.
No,
Retro games aren't
really?
fucking going anywhere.
no.
I mean, I don't think they're like. I don't want to say. Like, I'm not saying that people aren't playing retro games anymore. I just hear less talk of it than I used to a couple years ago.
I still hear you talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's. I think the problem is right now is just I know Capcom is doing they're doing another Mega Man collection. I believe it's just it's 7 through 10. I think 7 through 10.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's-
all that's left in the.
Right, the classic games. But I'm kind of
Yeah, but there's not fucking Mega Man and Bass. Which what the fuck, Capcom?
Yeah, you get Mega Man, Bass, Rock Band, Forte, whatever. But the problem I got is for PS4 and Xbox. I'm like, I want it on Switch. I don't want to sit down on the console and play Mega Man games anymore.
Like, it's the kind of thing you want to play lying down in bed.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk about retro games like going away, then we had Xbox Classic backwards compatibility announced at E3. We had the SNES Mini announcement, which fucking blew up. Sega Forever, all the free Sega games on your phone from like Mega Drive and everything. It's still going strong.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think the sense I am getting is that, I don't know how true this is. It seems like there's, like, for me, retro gaming is like old PC gaming, because I didn't grow up with a console.
Oh yeah,
So-
Commander Keen, Julio's Jungle, Halloween Harry,
Yeah.
Cosmic Adventure. Fuck yeah,
Like that stuff.
If
And
there was a
that's-
fucking like DOS box I could plug into my computer for $120 and play all the old Apogee games, like I would buy that shit in a heartbeat over the SNES Mini.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It seems like once GOG.com had established itself, it seems like people aren't really talking about those sorts of games anymore, and I don't hear as many announcements of, oh, we're bringing back the super old PC game that you can't buy anymore. So like nobody's reviving Full Tilt or Marble Drop right now.
Well, we've got Kid digging into their fucking like back catalog. We're getting new Wolfensteins and Dooms and Quakes and
Yeah, I mean that's neat.
And the most scary part is the Wolfenstein and Doom games are really good.
yeah, fucking Wolfenstein's better than like Wolfenstein ever was.
Oh God, yeah,
Like that-
yeah.
If they somehow managed to marry the fast-paced gameplay of the older games with some modern shooter conventions, and on top of that, add a really good story. And that's a feat that I didn't think that they'd be able to accomplish.
It's
and they
weird
somehow
that
pulled it off.
it's weird I care about a very white guy who kills Nazi. Well, to be fair, he's killing Nazis, but it's just like I'm a big brick of man, and I'm going to have like an actual adult relationship with this other person, and it's not going to come off as contrived. It's like
BJ Blazkowicz is now like the most emotionally developed fucking character in video games. Who the hell saw that coming?
No, it's just ridiculous. But yeah,
it's they've managed to turn his most salient trait, which is I kill Nazis, into like this like emotional undercurrent of what toll does killing people and killing people constantly take on one's soul and personality. They pull it off without it feeling cheesy, which is a real feat.
And everyone else just hands waves it. It's just like every Uncharted game is just the exact same in that department.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like the second
Fucking Nate's a monster.
here's the thing: I like Uncharted more when I don't have to think about that.
like
I don't think Uncharted succeeds very well when it's trying to make me think about the human cost of what Nate does. I like it as a big dumb video game adventure, which is why I love Uncharted 2.
Right.
And I don't think Uncharted 3 worked as well because it tried to focus on that human toll.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 surprisingly managed to pull it off decently well, but I think it's because it was centered more around Nate's relationships with others than it was about, the actual cost of treasure hunting.
Yeah, but I still got to sneak up behind a person and kick them in the butt and have them fall off a mountain. So that happened.
I mean, it's fun to do that, so I'm not going to question it too much. So what other surprises have been there for you this year so far? I try to stifle a burp.
I want to say real quick, I mean, did anyone expect Resident Evil 7 to be as good as it was?
I didn't expect it to be good, full stop.
Yeah, I just figured oh well, okay, cool.
Oh, another Resident Evil. Who the fuck cares? They've been shit since 4.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, after
didn't
4 was
Umbrella
amazing.
Corps come out last year? Or something like that? And it was really bad?
Probably. There have been a lot. There have been a lot of really dumb
Like a lot of really dumb shit came out of the Resident Evil franchise, unfortunately.
Basically,
So I think your mic's cutting out, Ben.
Yeah.
Bye, Ben. No, I'm kidding. He's still around.
Just talk to me for an hour. It's great.
It's all right. Ben can hear us, hopefully. Dude, this is going to be great to have at the podcast at the end. Let's just keep this all in. Anyway, so Resident Evil, nobody's expecting that to be good, and somehow it ended up good.
Hello?
Yep, we're back.
Hey, Ben's back.
You got me?
Yeah, we got you.
Good.
I don't know why your mic cut out. That's fine. People weren't expecting that to be good, and it ended up good, so...
I just think, I just liked how... as someone who hasn't watched a lot of horror movies, but, knows the cliches, but, just that whole, just the whole garage sequence was, they expected you to follow basic formats. It's like, of course you're going to get in the car and try to run them over. Of course you're going to do that. And so the game expects you to do that and just changes from there. So I just thought that's so clever. I don't know why.
It leverages your expectations in an interesting way by meeting them and then twisting them. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and yeah, it's like, oh well, haha, I totally expect you to get in the car. Now I'm gonna fuck you up, and it's so scary. But yeah,
So yeah, girlfriend in the cabin and shit, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm not playing. That's way too scary.
Yeah. So that was Resident Evil 7. For me, the biggest there are a couple of big surprises I had. One was I didn't expect Prey to be very good. I thought it looked really like kind of generic when I first saw it being shown off, and I was like,
the commercials for Prey kind of just told me, why are you promoting Prey as like it's it's gonna be in stores now or soon. It's like, okay, that's a really weird license to just start airing commercials on.
yeah, because most people have forgotten about Prey 2006.
I hadn't forgotten about fucking Prey 2 though. Fuck you, Bethesda.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a tragedy that we didn't get that Prey 2 in the end, but I'm actually pretty happy with the Prey we got.
I still
Like-
haven't touched it mainly just because I'm so salty about Prey 2.
Yeah, I mean, you have every right to be salty. So, you know, pour that salt on there, because they really mistreated Human Head during development, if the rumors are true. But the Prey we got, it turned out to be, something that, when you have like these kinds of games, sometimes it feels like there's a bunch of mechanics that are just bolted together, and this didn't feel that way. This felt like everything that was in the game belonged in the game. Like it felt like a coherent, complete experience, which you don't get a lot with modern AAA games that try to cram the kitchen sink there. So that was nice. The other big surprise for me was Late Shift was not awful. For those who don't know what Late Shift is, it was this FMV choose your own adventure game. Is that what? Sorry.
The one where you're like an attendant in a hospital or something?
It's the one where you're a parking lot attendant. Yeah.
No shit. I think the movie Late Shift is about being in a hospital.
Yeah, the game Late Shift is about being a parking lot attendant, and then you get caught up in criminal activity because you're kidnapped and at gunpoint. It's surprisingly not an awful game. I mean, like the story's not great. The acting is occasionally not all there, but generally it's a well put together experience, and I'd like to see more big budget FMV games in the future.
Like Need for Speed.
Yeah, it's weird that Need for Speed does this weird thing where they combine FMVs with CG, and it's very stylized, right? They have like the teal filter on top of everything.
Wasn't one of the Guitar Heroes an FMV game now as well? Like Guitar Hero TV or something?
Maybe.
No, I thought it was one of the Guitar Heroes where to save money they just did FMV rather than procedural graphics while you're jamming along, or was that what it was? Or
Guitar Hero Live, I think.
Guitar Hero
maybe?
Live, I'm looking up now. Yeah, it's all FMV stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think you can incorporate FMV in interesting ways and make good FMV games. I don't think it should replace 3D, like bespoke animation, if you can put it in there. But it's like there were a lot of awful FMV games in the 90s, and that's why the genre died out, probably. But with games like Her Story,
classic.
Sorry,
are you telling me? Oh no,
Night Trap.
Night Trap, yeah. Are you telling me that's not a bona fide classic? Didn't he?
They're re-releasing it.
Yes, they're re-releasing Night Trap. God help us.
Yeah, so it's nice that the genre isn't dead, and there are more tools in developers' toolboxes.
I have no idea how they did that. It's like they tried a Kickstarter last year, I believe, and it failed, and they're doing it anyway.
The secret behind all Kickstarters is that they probably have another way to get funding, and they're just going to Kickstarter because it's the easiest way to get funding without having to,
well, not
pitch to
all. There's a
investors.
lot that aren't, but like basically, if it's a major studio you've heard of before on Kickstarter, or like a license you've heard of before, then yeah, they probably can figure something out.
Yeah, Shenmue.
Is that still a thing? Did it ever happen?
That's coming out next year.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
They had a huge update of it recently, didn't you see? It has a different logo now.
Oh
Oh,
wow!
wow, that's what they spent the past year and a half doing.
Yeah.
I actually, oh god, I actually saw a Mighty Number Nine Kickstarter update like a month ago. They're finally getting to the handheld versions. Finally,
Oh,
those,
fucking.
those people who decided to put on the handheld versions for their pledge. Oh, you'll get them soon.
Hey, guess who that is? That's fucking me. I've been waiting for my Vita version.
Silly Ben, there are no games for the Vita. Yeah,
I would seriously buy a Vita. If someone just like gave me a memory stick immediately, then I would buy the Vita.
if you didn't have to pay for the proprietary crap.
Oh god!
I had to rebuy a Vita.
You had to rebuy what? Sorry.
I had to rebuy the Vita. Like, I bought a new one recently.
Oh, okay.
The memory stick cost more than the Vita.
Oh Lord.
Like,
yeah, that's Sony for you.
It's like I just want to use it for remote play or maybe like a PS1 Classics machine. Like that's all I really want it for, and I just can't justify the cost because of the damn memory stick.
Yeah, Sony's gonna Sony. That's just how they roll. Like if you hear the rumors of how Sony's run, it's basically a company that's run by its engineers. So if they have their own vanity projects, like their own proprietary memory, the engineers are going to push hard for that to be included rather than it being compatible with like CF or SD cards. So
remember how great the UDM system was? It or UMD?
UMD, yeah.
The universal media device which worked in one thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's because Sony pushes its own proprietary stuff.
I still loved the early PSP videos where someone was like playing I think the Wipeout launch title, and they shook it just a little and the disc just shot out like a pizza shooter.
Yeah.
It's if you like shook it just enough, it would like just I don't know, think you're taking it out or something, it would just shoot out. It's like great hardware design there, guys.
So are there any other surprises you guys wanted to mention from this year?
The other quick one I wanted to mention is the fucking Sega Platinum games getting re-released on PC and being really good, like Bayonetta and Vanquish. Who the fuck saw that coming?
Yeah, I mean, like Platinum, I think is trying to put more of their stuff on PC now. So we're probably never going to see the Wonderful 101 on PC, but
well, Nintendo own that, don't they?
Yeah, so that's why. But I think we could possibly see more Platinum games on PC in the future.
I think the biggest surprise was because Vanquish and Bayonetta are the ones that Sega own, and Sega were the ones doing it. So, like, Sega want to put stuff on PC now, apparently.
Well,
they've been playing.
Yeah, Sega's more of a PC company these days, PC publisher, Creative Assembly, and all the such, right?
Yeah. Plus, so they have like the Total War games, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, on top of that, they also have like all their multi-platform titles they're putting on PC, like the Sonic games, Alpha Protocol. Those are all PC games as well.
Does Alpha Protocol work on PC?
Yeah, Alpha Protocol wasn't buggy on PC or anything. It was just buggy all around. It wasn't like it had a bad
but I mean,
PC
like,
port.
is that one better on PC? Like, is it more playable than the fucking Xbox One I played was?
I mean, it's all been patched up
have
now.
a mod to fix it?
It's all been patched up now, but it's just like kind of an inherently broken game.
Oh, but it's also really good though.
Yeah, it's one of those games that straddles the line between being genuinely good and kind of so bad it's good. Because the way you approach combat in that game is you can go through the game using guns but still being a pacifist if you shoot everybody to within an inch of death and then knock them out. There's no bleeding out mechanic in that game. So it counts you as being a pacifist if that's what you do. That's how I made it through the game. I just shoot everybody, and once they'd lost enough health, I'd run up to them and just like tap the E key a few times, and then I'd knock them out.
Is this similar to Metal Gear Solid 3 where you could like go down that stream of people you killed before and people will just, I mean, for example, you shot them all in the nuts, it just would basically be people, ghosts like holding their nuts the whole time?
No, but I wish.
Realize that bit did that. That's awesome.
I think it did that, but yeah, I know people made jokes like, "Yeah, I just shot them all in the nuts," and like they said, "Oh," as you're trying to like go through that river and not get hit by the ghosts. But
They've stopped doing that in games now, where like it used to be that when you shot people in the nuts, they would grab their nuts and then keel over and die. Like even like old perfect like a game like Perfect Dark used to do that. You'd shoot them in the nuts, and then like the henchmen would like grab their crotches and like fall over in pain. They don't do that anymore. People just like fall over and die now in games.
I think a game that one of the worst best death animations is in Turok, the first Turok game, where like you just shoot them in the eye and like some blood splurts from their eye and then just go and then just fall over to the side. And it's like the same animation. It looks so stupid. And that actually might be a weird surprise how some developer decided, boy, like I'm going to make an engine just for Turok games, then I'm going to buy the license of Turok, then I'm going to release them on PC.
Was that this year or was that last year?
I think that was either this year or last. I know two just came out recently.
2 just came out this year, but Turok 1 was last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a continuing surprise.
Yeah.
Not only the first Turok, they're going for the second one too.
The second Turok's the best one.
The port's not terrible either. It's fine. It's okay.
It's competent, which is
Yeah.
more we can say for a lot of ports. Speaking of old games getting ports or updated ports, they recently updated Tron 2.0 for Windows 10. Who would have seen that coming?
Well, great. Wow.
Yeah, so now you can run Tron on your computer without dealing with compatibility or emulation or anything like that. So yay.
But which game was Tron 2.0? Was that the one that came out to go with the new movie? Or?
I don't think so.
No.
It was years ago. It was years before.
It was the early aughts. That was the first-person shooter, not the bad third-person action game.
Oh, I didn't even know this game existed.
It's fucking great. Instead, like there's traditional FPS weaponry, but there's also
But you use the Tron disc?
Yeah, you use the Tron disc for most of it. So you basically it's a first-person shooter where you mostly don't use a gun. And there's a bunch of platforming sections and some RPG-ish stuff and also light cycle games. And all mishmash into one crazy package, which I love. Anyway, so I think we've discussed a lot of surprises for the year. I think the one last thing we want to discuss about 2017 so far is, so a lot of good games came out in the first half of the year. Which ones do you think are going to make a lot of critics' top 10 lists? These aren't necessarily your favorite games or your personal favorites, although they can be. What games do you think people will still be talking about by the end of the year?
My money's on anything Nintendo published first party. That's
like Breath of the Wild was.
Breath of the Wild, ARMS. Probably not 1-2 Switch though. I reckon that one might miss out.
No, but I think a lot of people have latched on to ARMS and are liking it quite a bit. I think that might be something people would remember.
Splatoon 2 probably is going to be around.
Yeah, not out yet though.
Yeah, not out yet, but no, I mean, yeah, Zelda's going to be on some top 10 lists. I mean, I don't think it's as crazy perfect as a lot of critics do, but it's fine, and it'll probably be in the middle of the list somewhere. You know, if I were to make a top 10, but yeah, it's a Zelda game that I think the other problem is like I think people like a lot of critics are saying, I don't want the old Zelda anymore, and I'm kind of like I like the old Zelda, but I mean I liked a lot what Breath of the Wild did, but I also kind of wish there was a little more guidance, so to speak. So like I kind of like one in the middle. And people are like, oh, this is so great, it's open world, and it's like, I would like less open world games, thanks. So it's a weird
open world fatigue is definitely a thing.
It's a weird crisis for me, but no, yeah, I think that game's going to be there. I think it's not going to be on everyone's list, but I imagine Persona 5 is going to be on a couple lists, especially yeah. And even though again, I don't think that's a Game of the Year candidate. It's too flawed. It's got a lot of problems. The localization is not good.
I mean, yeah, the localization is... The way it feels like to me is that they did a translation pass, but they didn't do, like...
A proper localization pass.
Yeah, like they did... Yeah, so they translated it, and they localized it into like proper English, but it's not like always colloquial English, and the characters don't have distinct voices all the time.
Oh no, they don't. There are 9 editors on that game. When you look at the credits, there are 9 editors.
Didn't that game take like ages to be translated though?
Yeah, I mean the problem, as I understand it, the rumor, and I don't know how true it is that they basically didn't get the script until the game went gold in Japan.
Yeah, I do know that Atlas Japan did a lot of meddling. They required the voice actors to pronounce the characters' names in ways that don't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, it's basically they wanted them to pronounce them in such a way that they'd preserve the stress and cadence of the name as pronounced in Japanese, whereas it's very hard to, when you do that, it's very hard to pronounce to preserve the proper pronunciation of the sounds. Like when they say something we'd say is like Sakamoto when we say it in English. Like they wanted the voice actors to say it as Sakamoto, which is closer to the stress you'd put on the syllables in Japanese, but changes the sounds in English, so it sounds weird.
It's just, yeah, there's just so many just really weird, questionable idea. I mean, and I'm not even going to bring up honorifics because I know that's an argument that I've burned so many bridges about. But
yeah, like I think you and I slightly disagree about honorifics in that I'm generally in favor of them, but I know some people are against them. Persona 5 is actually, like, Persona 4 is very consistent about using them. Persona 5 kind of drops them in willy-nilly and sometimes takes them out. It's strange.
God, there's a sentence in particular, and I wish I would have kept it somewhere, where it was like, where when Makoto is starting to track you down and like, lecture, interview you for the, because the principal's forcing her to find who these phantom thieves are, and
yeah,
and it's like, okay, so Makoto senpai is your elder. It's like just like 2 or 3 honorifics in one sentence, and like that doesn't.
It's all English dubbed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I reckon if it's just subtitled, I'm fine with honorifics, but like when you have English people saying the honorifics, it sounds so fucking stupid.
Yes.
I remember played the Yakuza 1 dub, and they leave in the word anarchy instead of Big Brother, and so there's just this dude going like, anarchy, and it's like, if I didn't watch a shitload of anime and was a huge weeb, I would have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. I would think that dude's name is
watch a shitload
Anarchy.
of anime and I'm a huge weeb, and I didn't know what that meant. So there you go. I said, I tend to be more in favor of honorifics if it clarifies, relationships between people, or it's crucial for your understanding of the story. Like if they took out honorifics from a Yakuza game, it would stop making sense. But then again, Yakuza games now are just subbed. So
I was gonna say, like, I haven't played 0 or 5 or 6, but apparently those have some really, really great localizations. Just superb stuff that you wouldn't expect from such a niche-y title. Because like I don't think Yakuza games are selling a huge amount at this point.
I mean, they sell well in Japan, but they're niche titles here. Yakuza 0, my understanding, actually did pretty well in the West, but it's not like it did as well as expected, maybe slightly better. It's not like, say, NIER Automata, which did like an order of magnitude better than they expected it to do in the West.
Well, like those games, they've also made really hard to get into because you cannot buy Yakuza 3 anymore. Like, just fuck you if you're trying to play through the series.
Yeah, so like I've decided, because I kind of want to get Yakuza 6 when it comes out. I've decided I might get Kiwami, the remake that's coming out for Yakuza 1, and I'm just going to watch the rest of the games on YouTube and then play 6. Because it's not worth trying to like hunt down the others. I would say
it's actually worth playing the original Yakuza 1 because that has an amazing dub voice cast. Like, it's got fucking Mark Hamill, it's got like just everyone in that game.
Eliza Dushku and a bunch of other people, I've heard.
It's Eliza Dushku, Mark Hamill, the dude that plays Lex Luthor in Smallville, and he was the Flash in the Justice League Unlimited.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum, yeah. It's just like, it's got now I've forgotten the Jake the dog from Adventure Time, and Bender,
John DiMaggio.
Yeah, he's just like these random goons that show up, and he's got Jake's the dog voice, and it's like, what the fuck?
I think it's something I'll watch on YouTube, but I think I'm gonna play like Kiwami as I was.
Oh yeah,
playing.
it plays like shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like watch snippets of it on YouTube, just for fun's sake. Yakuza. Speaking of Yakuza, I think Yakuza 0 might make a couple of lists, but like we said earlier, it's kind of a niche game, so it probably won't be there. But a niche title that.
Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say a niche title I think is going to make quite a few lists. Might actually be NieR Automata.
I think if NieR Automata doesn't make people's list, then I stop paying attention to what they think about games.
I mean, like, there are people who didn't play it, and that's fair. And I think, like, I'm fine with people
wrong,
not...
PT.
I own a copy of it.
He'll get around to it. He'll like it when he plays it. Like, I'm fine with people disliking. Like, it got really good reviews for the kind of game it is. Like, it being a niche title, like, there are definitely people are going to be turned off by its niche elements. So if this is a game that's getting, like, a 90 on Metacritic, being the niche title that it is, that's pretty impressive. So I think it's going to make quite a few lists. Like, the people who played it liked it. Very few people who are like, man, this game is shitty. Prey, I think, is going to make some lists too.
As much as I don't think the main site is that great, I mean, something I look forward to every holiday season is the guest top 10 lists from like Giant Bomb.
Yeah,
because they have all these entirely random people from the industry or friends, and their lists are always super varied. And I can see people put a NIER on their list, or I like one that I think would probably reach the bottom of my list at this point is the Spectre Knight expansion for Shovel Knight, which came out this year.
Oh fuck yes, that was so good.
Which was great, really really great. And so
like, Shovel Knight has been my game of the year like 3 years now.
Yeah, that game, people really love it. Those who've played it, so yeah, it's always gonna keep popping up there.
But the Spectre Knight thing was special. I mean, it was an entirely new, fun little twist, and like the music was entirely arranged. Some were better than others, but
the levels were all different. There were new characters. That was so good.
The Spectre Knight's theme was remixed to something that like was super Castlevania as hell. It was just great, actually. But
even the little mini game in your base that was like the randomly generated platform thing you had to do a race was better than all the other ones.
Oh yeah, it was great. But yeah, I mean stuff like that were like super small. I mean stuff that's not gonna make my top 10 list or anything. But there's like a lot of smaller games.
I reckon for smaller games, I reckon Thumper is gonna hit on a lot of people's top 10. Like, yeah. I know people that were fucking obsessed with that. I reckon, the Wonder Boy remake, like, I reckon that's got to hit some top 10 lists.
Which I own on Switch, and I will play that eventually.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, speaking of other smaller titles, I think, definitely The Sexy Brutale and What Remains of Edith Finch, both of which I've purchased but haven't gotten around to playing yet. I think those are going to make some top 10 lists. And also Night in the Woods, which I have played, and it's not a personal favorite of mine, but a lot of people really liked it, and it's a game that I appreciate for what it does. So I think that's going to make quite a few lists.
I do think I like that there are a lot of solid, smaller little titles for niches. Like for me, for another example is I don't know what's going to reach top 10 or anything, but Blaster Master Zero came out this year, had no right to be as good as it was. It's actually pretty good. And
that's a tank one, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a tank one. It's actually made by Inch Creates. It's basically it's kind of a reimagining of the original game, but it's kind of like sanded out some of the shortcomings. It actually made the tank combat a lot better. The out of tank stuff is pretty decent. It's actually the funniest thing about that game is that it supposedly takes continuity from the first game, which was an entirely different game in Japan, plus the Blaster Master story, plus the Blaster Master stuff that came from the Worlds of Power books that were in the West. Did you ever hear of those Worlds of Power books? Yeah, apparently there is continuity from that damn book in Zero that is now like official continuity in that series, which I thought was just
all tried to mash it together into one continuity.
Right, because I believe the original was like something meta fight in Japan, and then
the American one is like, oh no, my frog fell down a hole,
and in this one it's like, oh, the frog fell down the hole, but there's also this really bizarre plot about how we basically fucked up the Earth a ton, so we went underground. And now that it's like been hundreds of years, we're gonna try to go back up to Earth now and fix it. And it's nonsensical. It's like the intro is like just 5 minutes of I'm gonna just read text about nonsense, and then suddenly a frog happens, and you start shooting things. It's very, very fun. But yeah, like just a lot of the small retro stuff that you would think, oh, these are just weird cash-ins. No, that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and I was crazy shocked. But yeah.
Oh, shit, Gravity Rush was this year, wasn't it?
Gravity Rush 2, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably going to hit some top 10s for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten around to playing it yet, but it seems like
really enjoyed what I got up to, and then I hit a glitch, and I can't get any further, and fuck that game forever.
Okay. You're not feeling positively about it right now.
Great game, but fuck it forever.
Basically,
that's how I felt about, like...
Until I got up to that glitch, I'm like, this game is amazing. I love it. It's fantastic. Oh my god, why the fuck won't this wall break? I can't beat this story mission. This game is awful.
Did you, like, check YouTube to make sure it was a glitch and everything?
Yeah, I checked YouTube. Then I loaded old saves and, like, redid the entire dungeon, and fuck it.
Yeah, when you reach a glitch like that, you're just like... It ruins your appetite for a game, too. Like, every time I've run into a game-breaking glitch... It's been enough to like make me not want to play the game anymore.
Like I've seen the game has had like 6 patches.
Yeah, it's had like 6 patches and they haven't fixed it.
Oh, I don't know yet because I'm just like I could try again, but fuck you.
Yeah, so we'll see. The other one I think I mentioned earlier, I think Prey will actually make some top 10 lists, which like I think nobody was expecting it to be as good as it was, and then it turned out to be one of the best immersive sims in years, so bully for that game. And also, I don't know how you haven't mentioned it yet, Horizon Zero Dawn, which I haven't played, but everybody loves it, so I think that's going to make some lists as well.
I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. I mean, I just can't start paying $60 for everything because, I mean, the Sony sale right now is actually pretty cool, actually, because it's got some decent half-year sales. I mean, I got the Ratchet and Clank reboot for like $8.
Oh wow,
nice! Like the 2015 game, which is, by the way, if you like Ratchet and Clank games, it's pretty good. You should probably play it because it's.
I'll get around to it eventually.
Because hey, you run around and you shoot things, and the writing is corny as hell, but I like it. But it just it works.
So before we move on to the next topic, because we spent longer talking about this than I anticipated, are there any other games you think will make your end lists?
My personal end list, For Honor, definitely going to be there. Also, I reckon Injustice
2, yeah.
Injustice 2, yeah.
Those won't be on my list, but I reckon they're going to be on a lot of people's lists. Okay,
yeah. All right, so let's move on to our second topic of discussion, which is video game soundtracks. So we don't spend a lot of time talking about sound on the Gamescast. We talked about it on the first Gamescast ever. That was like the first discussion topic ever on the AUTOMATA Gamescast. But we haven't talked about music yet for whatever reason. So today we're going to rectify that. We're going to talk about our favorite video game soundtracks. So I don't really have a good intro for this. What are your guys' favorite video game soundtracks?
You go, PT?
I was going to say, frankly, and maybe it's just me being, kind of old school, nut, but I really like a lot of stuff that Jake Kaufman does. The Shantae and the Shovel Knight, which is probably one of the best soundtracks of recent memory. And
that fucking Shantae song with vocals in the new one is incredible.
Oh, great! Yeah, and it's like and of course it plays only once, and then it doesn't play in the first level ever again.
Still amazing though. I downloaded it straight away.
Oh no! I buy his soundtracks when he's released on his Bandcamp site. I do support him. So yeah, but no, that's an example of just. I mean, because I don't like super 8-bit chiptune stuff too much. I mean, for example, I think some of I don't know if you remember the stuff that Tim Fallon used to do, like the old Rare composer, where he just do all these weird C64 loops and just it make it sound like, oh, the sound chip for the NES is super weird. Like a lot of people like overuse that stuff, but I don't think that these soundtracks that take the old from the new and combine them to this like retro crunchy stuff is, I think that's a lot better. But I'm just trying to
like Undertale did that really well.
Yeah.
Where they mixed like these chiptune type timbres with newer instrumentation, and so it sounded retro in a way, or retro inspired, but also very fresh.
And it's coming out on Vita, so I can finally play it.
I mean, that game could run on a... Oh, wait, you have a Mac, right?
No. Fuck, why would I have a Mac?
I don't know, okay. Like, that game could run on a potato. You could run it on a PC, no problem.
Yeah, but I have a Vita, and it's coming out on Vita, and I love the Vita.
I was going to say, it's finally showing up on consoles, yeah.
Yeah, it's... They also announced for PS4, right?
Yeah, to my
knowledge, but who cares about that? Who has
It's
a PS4 these days?
I do.
Everybody's got a Vita. Yeah, that's fair.
Says the person who never buys systems at launch, and yet I own a PS4 Pro and a Switch. What happens?
Yeah, my consoles are a PS4 and a PS3. I feel like I'm kind of behind on the console game.
Oh, I'm not. I have.
No, I'm pretty good. Like
Xbox One. At the moment, I have set up Xbox One, Wii U, PS3, PS4, Wii. I've unplugged my 360 by now. I just don't have a Switch at the moment.
Is the Switch in the purchasing plans?
Switch is really expensive in Australia, and
I am
waiting for there to be a decent bundle, or hopefully a Joy-Con that has an actual D-pad on instead of the 4 little buttons, because that fucking infuriates me.
I actually bought the Pro controller, but no, it costs way too much, and I like it.
Oh yeah, the Pro controller looks cool, but I really want it as basically I want Vita 2 for the Switch. That's what I want for my Switch.
Sure.
Yeah, like I'm gonna buy a Switch, and I'm pretty much only gonna use it in portable mode. Like it's gonna be on bus rides, and in bed. That's the only time I'm ever gonna play the Switch. But yeah, getting back to soundtracks. So like PT, I like soundtracks that combine old and new. Like say a lot of N64 soundtracks were actually pretty good. Like the soundtrack for Super Mario 64 is still kind of iconic, right? Like I can still hum the tunes from it. And there, of course, the soundtracks to like the rare platformers, Banjo and them, which were done by Grant Coker.
The fucking intro song to Banjo-Kazooie, that's the best.
Yeah.
Like how they play the little band at the beginning. I love that bit.
I mean, those games were were older games because the sound design was limited. They had to be just super catchy rhythms to it, and now a lot of video game music these days is just lots of background music, which sounds great in game, but I don't really want to listen to it in a soundtrack. For example, I mean, I could tell you, boy, I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15 soundtrack, and because there's like a lot of like memorable stuff, but you listen to a soundtrack, it's like, when was that song in there? What about that song? And
I'm gonna say the thing that I do like about modern video game soundtracks, though, is the dynamic changes in the soundtracks, which never really happened in old games. Like one of my favorite soundtracks of video games at the moment is has anyone played the New Killer Instinct?
No, sorry.
That soundtrack is fucking incredible. It's Mick Gordon, the same guy that did Doom and Wolfenstein, like the new Doom, the new Wolfenstein.
Sure.
But it has this shit in it where based on what the characters are doing in the fight, it will be different parts of the song playing. So if the characters are just standing there idle, the soundtrack will be just the kind of like the bass line and everything. And then as the fight gets more intense, the song gets more intense. So the soundtrack ebbs and flows with the action on screen. That's actually my entire list of soundtracks have done that. Like NIER Automata did that really amazingly. And I know you wanted to mention that, Merve, right?
Oh, I think what I wrote in the notes for NIER Automata is Ben can talk about this one. Ha ha.
Yes, I can. Okay. Oh, there's something I want to mention in it, but it's kind of spoilers for the second playthrough. So
yeah, because I am going to play it. Yes.
Okay, so we're not going to spoil it, but there is this one moment where this is actually still in the first playthrough, where there's something that's eidetic, like that's actually happening in the game. Like there are these characters that are chanting something, and then that chant becomes part of the music.
That's so good. But I was
Yeah.
actually thinking about like most of the songs in that game have two different have multiple different versions of it, and they will like switch seamlessly between those versions in the mini game that becomes prevalent in the second playthrough, Merve.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it will like switch between these two versions of the same song that are like done in different instrumentations seamlessly as you play the game based on what you're doing, and it's awesome.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier about combining old and new, and they do that incredibly well in that transition without spoiling anything more. Because I think we've kind of spoiled it.
I was going to say it's not quite the same, but I know that I know a lot of the Koji Kondo stuff. You know, the Nintendo composers like ZELDA would like do the sort of transitional stuff, because I believe those soundtracks for MIDI, and you really can't do that with orchestrated stuff. But the other example, which is kind of a minor example, is the Dreamcast RPG Skies of Arcadia. During boss battles, the music would kick in from, oh, you're in trouble because one of your people are down, or when the enemy is down to like 25% health, it will just kick into something inspirational.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it actually is really, really cool. And because you're just killing that last blow, and they're screaming everything, and it just the music just starts pumping up and getting exciting. And yeah, that was kind of the example I was thinking of as well when you were mentioning like transitional stuff. It's probably not to the level of today, but I like that.
I think probably still the best example of
The best example of what? Sorry.
The dynamic like music stuff, the
Yeah.
soundtrack to Metal Gear Revengeance, and how that plays out through boss fights is like half the appeal of that game.
So what exactly does Revengeance do? Does it like?
First it has
music
like
go through stages.
First it has like the most cheesy butt rock like new metal Linkin Park style soundtrack in the world, and it's corny as hell and amazing.
The lyrics are just the stupidest goddamn things in the world, but they're great.
It's so good. But it's also like, so you'll be fighting a boss, and then but that game is so fucking insane and over the top. So you're like fighting a boss, and like the guitar, like the cheesy butt rock guitar solo will be playing behind you, and then it'll like shoot missiles at you, and you have to like jump across the missiles running towards it and everything. And as that starts, like the lyrics of the song start up, so like the chorus will always hit as you're doing the really exciting bit, and it's really well done.
Yeah, I mean it's nice when they can make like the music reflect what's actually going on screen, and that's really hard to do. To like have like these layers that you can take in and out.
I know, like all I heard about from that game before I played it was "Rules of Nature," which is like the first major song, and the guy screaming "Rules of Nature" like really loud happened like right as I was like falling from the building, and like okay, that's perfect. That's so well timed. We're good. We're cool. I understand the appeal of this game. And yeah, just stuff like that. That game has I don't know if it's an underrated soundtrack because so many people have crowed about it, but it's way better than it should be.
And like, because a lot of the tech they use in that game, Merve, is what ended up doing the music transition in NIER, because a lot of the Metal Gear Revengeance dudes worked on it.
Okay. So so they're taking the techniques from that game and improving on them for subsequent games.
Yeah,
which
but
I like
basically
to see.
imagine if NIER just had like cheesy butt rock metal instead of like the soundtrack it does have.
I mean, and the plot is stupid. I mean the final build,
boss is the president of America.
No, he was like a senator.
Oh, that's right. He's Senator Armstrong. That's right. And he's like, I play football.
It's like nano machines, son,
I love video games.
and it's just like I was a football player, and like I'm some libertarian asshole, and it got to the point where like unfortunately people started to agree with him, and was like, no, guys, dude, no, you're not supposed to agree with the villain.
So like it seems like the most common genres of video game soundtracks are one of two genres, like your standard Hollywood orchestral music and butt rock, right? And that's what you see in most games. But there have been some games that sort of played with genre a bit and gone outside of that, like Deus Ex Human Revolution has done like basically techno, which I thought was cool. a Cradle basically had a trip hop soundtrack. Tiny and Big did like blues, funk, and jazz fusion. So it's nice to see video games sort of play with genre a bit.
I do.
Oh, the other two. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I do think there are some composers that just need to stop because Motoi Sakura, who's like a JRPG composer, mostly did Trier stuff for a while, Star Ocean titles and that. It's just the same orchestra, very, very loud orchestra, yet we're going to jump up and down, just,
like all the swelling strings and all that.
Oh, God, and it's the same soundtrack. I mean, he does all the Tales games.
I mean, to be fair, Star Ocean is the same game every time, so...
Oh, I think the Tales composer as well, actually, I believe. He does
also the same game every time.
Yeah, so basically...
I literally could not tell you a song from the Tales games, and I've played a shitload of them.
But they're just like
I can't think of a single song.
This super high energy orchestra stuff where shit goes down during the battles. Like, it's the same song over and over again. And I'm like thinking, when I see a soundtrack from that person, I'm like, nope, next. And it just, yeah.
Like, I'm thinking, I beat Tales of Berseria like a month.
A month ago? Hello?
Yep.
Ben died. So...
Dumb Tales games.
Yeah, Tales games are generic as hell, unfortunately.
I liked Eternia a lot, actually, which was Tales of Destiny 2 here in the US. That was the only Tales game I really liked.
Anyway, I mean, yeah, there are lots of composers who are composing the same, like, generic sort of whatever it is that they do. Ben is back. So you said you played Berseria a few months ago?
Yeah, and
a few months ago?
I can't remember a single song from it. Like,
yeah, nobody
it's
can.
in my mind, and until you mentioned it, it never really occurred to me, but, I can't think of a single song from that entire game, and I just spent 45 hours playing it.
I spent 70 hours playing Tales of Zestiria, and I can't hum you a single tune from it. I mean, mind you, that was last year, but still. It's pretty bad. It's not like it's a bad soundtrack, it's just so generic that it leaves your memory entirely. But there have been soundtracks where, I can remember pretty well. Like, I haven't finished Gravity Rush, but I know its soundtrack super well. That's because it stands out as being somewhat unique. It's got sort of that... It feels almost like old Disney.
Yeah,
the vibe they're going there. Sorry?
I can see that, yeah, like old classical Disney, kind of like that inspirational kind of music, I guess you'd call it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It sounds very different from other video game soundtracks. And by old Disney, it also has the jazzy elements too. So it's bringing that like inspirational or like very ethereal, floaty orchestral stuff and marrying it to jazz in a very
floaty.
Way.
I get it. I see what you did there.
Floaty. Oh yeah, I wrote floating in quotes in the agenda. That was an unintentional pun.
There are some people who are kind of down on the Persona 5 soundtrack, and I don't quite understand that.
I think it's because you hear it so much and you hear the same music over and over again that if you liked it to begin with, you're like, yeah, this is pumping me up. But if you're kind of on the fence about it to begin with, then you're just like, oh, not this song again. Like the ballad music just doesn't change, right?
I mean, I will say, I don't know if you've ever gotten that far, but there is like the shit gets serious battle theme coming up, and it's just as incoherent as the other one. It's something about rivers in the desert or some shit, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, they do have. Yeah, I think people are still kind of latching onto the whole "you'll never see it coming" song.
Which I still listen to it. When it's on my shuffle, I'll be like, "Yep, I'm gonna drive to work, listen to this song all day," because I'm weird.
Yeah, it is catchy as hell. Like you can admit it. You're hearing that in your head right now as I'm speaking.
I'm hearing it right now with the Simpsons meme. The Simpsons meme with that anime where I forgot what that anime was, but it was the one where he shoots the shotgun 3 times even though it only has 2 shells.
Yeah, it's the Mo as a persona thing.
Right. Yeah. I think it came from an anime or something that mixed with the Simpsons. I forgot what that was, but
no, it's just Persona 5 on top of Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's just an anime reference in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll put it in the link dump, and you can watch Mo telling people what to do if you diss on his fly girl. Sorry?
Giving you one of these.
Yeah.
I reckon
That's what
one
it is.
thing that haven't really talked about, but I think when it's done well is some of my favorite soundtrack shit is when they do really well like licensed songs.
Yeah.
Like
The one I want.
Saints
So
Row
go ahead.
3 I think did it amazingly, where like you get the final mission where you have to like save your friends and everything is set entirely to Bonnie Tyler's looking out for a hero
Yeah,
and
holding out for Hero.
holding
Yeah.
out for a hero, yeah, and when you're like taking your base back it's all set to Kanye West Power.
Yeah, and four was like that too, though it was a little more jokey about it
Oh,
because
4 had the touch.
yeah, four had the touch at the very end, which I died many, many times because that was a hard area. So I was like, "You got the touch," and I died by hitting the explosive at the end. It was sad.
Another game that did it really well is, did anyone play Lollipop Chainsaw?
I've seen a Let's Play of it, but I haven't played it.
Like, about 90% of that game is an original soundtrack done by Johnny Urine from, what's that? Abbreviated MSI. Fuck, anyone that knows who Johnny Urine
Mindless
is.
Self-Indulgence.
That's it, yeah. But then the final area starts playing Heroes of Our Time by Dragon Force, and it's fucking incredible.
Nice. On the other side of the spectrum, one game that used a licensed soundtrack really well was Life is Strange. I know a lot of people have talked about this. Like, it uses, like, there's a lot of ways to use, like, generic indie rock, like how teen dramas do it, and sometimes they don't deploy it very well. But Life is Strange is, like, the perfect needle drops. Like, every time they use a licensed track, it's the perfect one for the mood of the game when they use it.
Oh,
And-
shit. Sorry, you go. I just thought of something.
No, that was it. Like, I want to mention these, and these like legit indie artists that people like a lot. You know, like Local Natives and Sparkle Horse and Bright Eyes and all those guys. So they did something pretty well there. What were we gonna say?
Every chapter end from Alan Wake had a licensed song, and it was always perfect.
I was going to say, yeah, Remedy is really good about that. And in fact, now you can't buy Alan Wake anymore because the music rights ran out.
Yeah,
Oh
'cause
no.
that's one of the problems with the licensed soundtrack. We're just like, fuck, I wish like that didn't happen, but it works so well in that game.
Yeah, I forgot to buy it when it was on sale.
It's okay. I mean, it's not a great game. I mean, I think the action mechanic is interesting but super flawed, and it's one of those games you play on the easy difficulty. Otherwise, you're just not going to have any fun.
I will
That's fair.
fight you on that. I think it's an amazing game.
That's you.
Well,
pushing
while
me
you
off
guys
the
are finding it out, that's the siren telling you guys to fight it out. Yeah, so the other like games that are very very well known for licensed soundtracks are like all those open world crime games like Watch Dogs, Sleeping Dogs, GTA. GTA being the one that sort of popularized it, and they have like every time they have a pretty good selection of songs, like Sleeping Dogs and GTA especially. Watch Dogs a little less so, although it did have a lot of Midwest punk, which was nice.
I think
yeah,
the main
like-
problem with them is though, like, they have the licensed soundtrack, but they don't really use it well. Like, 'cause
Yeah, it's more like you make your own fun with it.
it's basically just what's playing in the radios in the car. It's never actually like, or at least I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, so I can't speak there. But like, it was never used as a soundtrack to what was happening in the game specifically. It was just incidental music kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like music that makes the commuting part of the game bearable.
Pretty much.
Which is why I wish they'd stop making such gigantic maps in those games and make them more like Sleeping Dogs, where the map is manageable and small and well designed. But that's another complaint for another time. So, any other soundtracks you guys want to mention as being particularly notable?
There's
Or
basically one oh Mega Man. Mega Man soundtrack is amazing and perfect and flawless.
what style is it? It's like chiptune style, or
Yeah, like the original chiptunes ones. Like Mega Man soundtrack has gotten to a point where there are bands dedicated to doing covers of it that like have turned it into a rock opera. Like there is a band called the Megas, which do a version of every main song with like lyrics that tell the stories of the robots, and like their soundtracks are amazing. Those games have some of the best 8-bit soundtracks.
And again, it's because just the limited sound ability was essentially, okay, we got to make these things rhythm and just easy and to remember. And so yeah, those things. Old music is very rhythm based as opposed to today's stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it
kind of had to be like it's all they could do back in the day.
It's going to loop over and over again, and you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and it sort of had to be distinctive, and nowadays we get a lot more soundtracks that just sort of fit with the game, and then you don't really remember them when they're done. I mean, you enjoy them in the moment, but they're not really distinctive, and they don't really stand out.
I mean, this is an unpopular opinion, but boy, one of my guilty pleasure licensed soundtracks is from Burnout Paradise, which had a pretty, sort of, soundtrack mix. It also had Avril Lavigne's Girlfriend on there. Which is just the most amazing. I'm going to smash cars against railings for something. Like, hey, you, as I'm smashing a car into a freaking rail and having it fall off a bridge. And I got like, why is this song in the soundtrack?
And I think we're all dancing around the elephant in the room here, right? Of the best game soundtrack, Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh man,
get out.
Escape from the city there. Escape from the city in your bad taste.
Hell yeah, Escape from the City.
No. Nothing about that game is good. But we did get in our obligatory Sonic mention for the podcast, so I thank you for that. And I think on that note, we can call this episode to a close, unless there's more Sonic soundtracks you guys want to mention.
Well, they're all pretty good, actually.
Well, the first three are okay, yeah.
The second one's done by Michael Jackson, for fuck's sake.
No, that was.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No,
and for the longest time, they couldn't admit it was Michael Jackson for whatever reason.
I thought the rumors was the third game was Michael Jackson.
We'll figure it out. We'll put it in the link dump. We'll figure out which one was Michael Jackson and which one was not.
But none of them are as good as Sonic Adventure 2. Let's just admit that.
No. Carry on, Merve.
No. The Avocado Gamescast is done for good now.
I killed it.
You just killed the Gamescast. No, I think this Gamescast will be killed for good once we get a cease and desist letter from Randy Pitchford.
We didn't yell at him this week.
We haven't yelled at him in a while. Probably because he hasn't told many lies in a while, but that's because he hasn't opened his mouth in a while. So.
But how's the soundtrack to Alien? Well,
Aliens, Colonial Marines?
I don't know.
Did anybody actually play it to find out?
All I know about that game is the dancing alien AI that just danced around like it was like a rave party or something. It wasn't.
Oh yeah, so the soundtrack to that game is actually like, "Hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my ragtime gal," right? Hey, there are YouTube videos of that. I'm not just making shit up.
I imagine there is. Yes. I wouldn't be. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Is all I'm saying.
To prevent us from singing anymore, I think we're gonna call this to a close.
Yes, please stop singing.
So, if you'd like to keep up to date for the podcast, we have a website, avocadogamescast.wordpress.com, where we post each episode, and there's a link dump, so you can look at the sources for the stuff we're talking about. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play Music. Just search for Avocado Gamescast on either of those services. Any closing remarks?
Sonic 2 Adventure Battle was amazing.
I disagree. Actually, I've never played it.
I'll take your word for it. On that note, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye now.
See ya.
Bye.